Hey, good morning again, Grace Church. It is so good to be with you again for our weekly staff devotional. It's been a while since I've done one, so good to be back with you again. I'm reading through the Psalms for my own devotions in the morning, and I'm always amazed at the diversity that we see in the Psalms. There are Psalms of praise, where the psalmist worships God for who he is and what he's done. And then there are Psalms of lament, where the psalmist cries out to God, often feeling overwhelmed with challenges he's facing, or even sometimes feeling abandoned by God as he faces difficulties in life or people that are opposing him. And then there's Psalms of thanksgiving, Psalms of wisdom that give us advice on how to live. And I think that's why so many people love reading the Psalms. They speak into our lives in so many ways because they connect with life experiences. They connect with our joys and our sorrows. They connect with our times of excitement and times of despair. They connect with the way that we view God, and sometimes how we cry out to God when we're in need. And I think there's also times when we read the Psalms just as an act of worship for God. And so people love reading the Psalms. Well, today I was reading Psalm 96, and it was so encouraging to me. We live in a world that still seems to be in the midst of chaos, and I think it's just going to continue to be this way moving forward until Jesus comes back. COVID continues to plague the world, and even still some parts of Canada are experiencing significant problems. Government restrictions and COVID protocols and vaccine passports, all these things are creating a lot of division and conflict in our communities and even in our churches. But as God's people, as followers of Jesus, we have to remember not to lose sight of the big picture, that God is still in control, and that he is still calling us to proclaim his name to a world that desperately needs Jesus, and to tell them about the wonderful gift of salvation that he offers through Christ. And that's what I was reminded of as I was reading Psalm 96. Let me read it with you this morning. It says, "Oh, sing to the Lord a new song. Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Sing to the Lord, bless his name. Tell of his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among all the peoples. For great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the peoples are worthless idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of the peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering and come into his courts. Worship the Lord in the splendor of holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth. Say among the nations, the Lord reigns. Yes, the world is established. It shall never be moved. He will judge the peoples with equity. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice. Let the sea roar and all that fills it. Let the field exult and everything in it. Then shall all the trees of the forest sing for joy before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. He will judge the world in righteousness and the peoples in his faithfulness." What an amazing psalm. You see, we serve an awesome God, the only true God, and he's the God who made everything in this universe. And we're called to tell the world about his salvation, verse 2 tells us. And we are called to declare his glory and the marvelous works that he has done among his peoples, among us, verse 3 says. To tell others of the incredible things that God has done in our life as we share our stories of faith with others. You see, we're called to ascribe glory to the name of God, verse 7 says, to give him the glory for who he is and what he has done for us. And then we are called to worship him in the splendor of holiness. You see, we serve an amazing God, a God who is faithful, verse 13 reminds us. It says, the earth shall not be moved. God is a God who will make all things right again, and he will judge the world in righteousness again, verse 13 says. So, are you overwhelmed with life right now? Well, let Psalm 96 remind you again that God is sovereign, that he is in control, and may it then also lead you to worship him. Worship him as the great God that we serve. Sing a new song to the Lord, the psalmist says. And then trust him with whatever challenges you're going through, and tell others about his goodness and his faithfulness, and proclaim the incredible gift of salvation that he offers us through Jesus. Well, I hope that encourages you this week. So God's blessing to you, and we will see you again next time.